Hello, my name is Lisa Deli. I'm an intuitive tarot reader, astrologer. I'm also an evolutionary astrologer and messenger. And I'm here to bring you a message that is pertaining to Mercury stationing direct on the 25th of April, and also just a general recap of the energies that have kind of been transpiring the last couple days. So I've been getting this message, very strong message, leading up to the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, which was on the 20th and the 21st. However, I didn't get a chance to sit down and record it. So I've been instructed to bring the message now. And what was coming through was that this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction at 21 degrees of Taurus was kind of the initiation point of a new way of manifesting. So I was getting the message to talk about manifestation because this is a message, was a big astrological date that a lot of manifestors and a lot of like witchy type people on the internet were saying like, oh, this is a day to manifest things around money and abundance and wealth and all those kinds of things. And the message that I was getting was that the way in which we have been manifesting up until now has been in a very 3D, physical, I don't want to say like not spiritual, but not like a fully matured spiritual way of manifesting. I was getting the message that from now on, the highest form of manifestation is going to be when we are able to kind of surrender our own egoic desires and align our energy to the planet and to source, God, the universe, whatever word you want to use for that, and activate our heart. Because our heart is where the seat of our soul is. Our heart is where the inner Christ lives. Our heart is where compassion comes from. So it's not about not wanting material things or not having nice things or not calling those things in, but rather it's about shifting our perspective rather than trying to like match the frequency of that which you want to manifest, because that's what they always say is like with the law of attraction and the law of assumption, you have to believe that you deserve that thing, and with that belief you'll call it in. You have to match the frequency of whatever it is you want to call in and it will come in. Rather than doing that, it's about matching your frequency to your inner being, to your heart, to the planet, and to the cosmos, and to the universe. And when we do that, miracles and manifestation will naturally unfold. And when we do that, actually higher levels of manifestation can come through way beyond our wildest dreams, and that can fulfill us much more than the kind of like superficial or base level desires which our egoic personalities and minds have kind of trained us to believe we want. And we're moving into a time now where simplicity is going to be valued above all, where our ability to enjoy the simple things like the birds singing in the morning, or a cup of coffee with our loved ones, or having like our basic needs met in a very nourishing and sustainable and like lush way, that's going to be valued more and more moving forward. And that the more that we can get into alignment with that, peacefulness, joy, love, and harmony, then that makes room for like more manifestation to come in. So that was something that was coming in very strongly for me about the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, that to talk to people about, rather than trying to like manifest a lot of money or this or that, to focus on your own frequency and purifying your energy, connecting to the planet, connecting to source, God, the creator, focusing on your spiritual energy, right? And this full moon in Scorpio that we just had yesterday on the 23rd was really an illumination of all of the shadow aspects in our personality that still are blocking us from being able to attune and align to that heart-centered, earth-conscious, source-conscious frequency, that alignment of the great mother that sustains us, our heart and the heavens, because this is how it must happen, right? It's through our heart that we can connect this lower reality and this earth. And by lower, I don't mean bad. I just mean like this physical planet connects to the cosmos, to source, through our heart, through each human being. And that is what the new earth is all about, is about us activating that heart space and being in alignment to both of these energies through our body, through our lives, through our daily experience. So this full moon in Scorpio was a bright, bright light that was being shown on all of the personality traits, egoic shadow aspects that are still blocking us, or that are still hindering us from being able to be in that full authentic alignment to our soul. Because this is something that everyone already has innately with them. If you are born here, and if you're alive now on the planet, you already have equipped within you your inner being and your heart space and your inner Christ fully activated. It's already ready to go. All you need to do is acknowledge it and open to it and activate it and be in alignment with it. Okay, so that was the main messages I was getting very strongly the last week or so, even longer than that. And now with Mercury set to station direct tomorrow, April 25th, it's going to be stationing direct after meeting up with the North Node in Aries. So this is really an activation point and clarity that's coming through about how we move forward as individuated beings, as unique souls on our mission, on our individuation process, in the process of unfolding and showing up in our full strength and bringing all of our soul gifts to the collective and serving the collective and being of service, but at the same time serving ourselves and self-actualizing, right? Because that is an important part of what we're all here to do, is to self-actualize and to step into the fullest potential that we have, right? So I'm going to start pulling some cards now to see what else wants to come through in regards to this, what else we need to know, what is it that the universe, God, source, creator would like to bring through for us at this time. What else do we need to know about these messages? What else do we need to know? What else do we need to know, please? What else do we need to know? What else do we need to know, please? What else do we need to know? Ooh, I'm gonna have to go pick that up. The Queen and the Forest. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, if you are on TikTok, this is about to get cut off, but the full extended reading is going to be, that's in a longer format, it's going to be up on YouTube, so if you're interested in that, you can go check that out. For those of you who are already with me on YouTube here, so with the Forest, I'm getting strong messages again about being in alignment with the planet, with the actual Earth, that this is moving forward, perhaps one of the most important aspects of this whole alignment thing that I'm talking about, that if we are not first and foremost acknowledging the planet, acknowledging the earth's resources, acknowledging our great mother and thanking her for everything she provides, and being in alignment to the fact that if we're going to have a sustainable future as a humanity, we need to change the way we relate to her. We need to change the way that we do things with her. Correct? So that being like the first and foremost aspect, especially coming out with the Queen, because she is our mother, right? It's like I was asking the Creator what the messages are, but these are coming from the mother. She's like, hey, no, this is about me. Like this is we're here to talk about me. We're not here to talk about the Creator. We're here to talk about the mother. Yeah, there's just, the both of these cards, the Forest card in this deck really talks about kind of this winding path that we have to go into when we get into the forest. It talks about, the mystery and the magic, and also the fear that can come from going into the forest, because it is a wild and kind of unknown place. After the sun goes down, there are creatures that could hurt you. If you don't know your way around, if you don't know what plants are safe or not, you can get into trouble. And with the Queen, it's a similar energy. If you, as the Queen, are not connected to justice and equity, if you as the Queen are not connected to balance and harmony, if you as the Queen are not in a internal equilibrium, then the ways in which you treat your subjects, the ways in which you treat others, is going to be very harsh and manipulative and difficult to deal with. Yeah, I feel like this is a portal that we're walking into to find the pearl of gold or the pearl of wisdom. Okay, so what does our great mother want to say? There's some message here about camping, maybe. Someone needs to go camping. Someone needs to spend like a couple days just like in the forest or in the jungle or in the mountains, in the woods. What does the Great Mother have to say about these messages that have been coming through? The ocean, yes. It's this alignment that I'm talking about through the heart space. It's not about denying our emotions. It's not about spiritually bypassing and ascending to love and light. It's not about ignoring all that we are. It's about a deep honoring and integration and presence into our heart. And that includes pain, grief, misery, right? That includes all the spectrum of emotions. The ocean is an archetypal energy that's, there are parts of the oceans that are serene and soft and peaceful and beautiful, and there are parts of the ocean that are treacherous and dangerous and, very choppy and storms, right? And it's about embracing that full spectrum of our humanity. It's not about trying to ascend to love and light and like move beyond those emotions. Rather, it's about being in a peaceful and heart-centered enough place to where those emotions don't last longer than they need to where those emotions don't throw us completely off balance, to where those emotions can come and make a visit and then leave, because that's what they're supposed to do. What message does this collective who is attracted to this reading need to hear right now? Okay, so they keep drawing me to this little thing on the forest card. So like I said, it's reminding me of like a camp tent. It's also reminding me of a cave. It's also reminding me of a crystal. So I'm asking now, what do we need to focus on? What should we focus on for the next, couple days or weeks, or the immediate time after this reading has found you? What are we to focus on? What's the message? What should we focus on? What should we focus on? Child, the orphan. Light attributes: independence based on learning to go it alone, conquering fear of surviving. Shadow attributes: feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation, seeking inappropriate surrogate families. So it came out reversed. So that usually means that the shadow attributes to me are more the focus of the message. So this is something I've been talking about for the astrology of 2024, that in September we have Pluto moving back into the 29th degree, the anaretic degree of Capricorn, for the last time in our lifetimes that Pluto will ever be in Capricorn. And that will happen from September 1st to November 15th, I believe it is. I think it's like mid to late November. And I've been talking about how this is the year of shadow work. This is the year of purging, clearing, and healing. This is the year of like those last bits of childhood trauma, those last kind of dark parts of your psyche, the last things that you maybe haven't healed yet or didn't even know that need to be healed. Like those are the things that need to be healed. And with this card, that's really coming through. Feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation. So it's like victim mentality, right? Whatever part of you that still feels like a victim, even if you were victimized, whatever part of you that still feels like a victim is the part of you that needs to die, is the part of you that needs to be let go of, is the part of you that needs to be integrated, especially any coping mechanisms that you had around being victimized, any addictive issues, any escapist issues, any issues with like food or alcohol or drugs or like pornography or anything like that you've been using as a way to cope with the feeling of trauma or victimization that happened to you as a child. It's so important right now to look at that, to examine it, and to draw it out. Like I'm getting kind of the analogy of the way that, when in like olden times when like a snake would bite someone, how like another healer or like a shaman or someone would have to go and suck the blood out and spit it out. I'm getting that kind of an image. It's like time to draw the venom out of the bloodstream. You have to draw it out. Let's see what's at the bottom of the deck here. The networker in reversed also. Light attributes: enhances unity through the sharing of information, engenders social awareness and empathy. Shadow attributes: conveys information only for personal gain, spreads fear and falsehood. This is talking to me about social media. This is talking to me about like getting off social media. Stop talking about your healing and start healing. Stop talking about your spiritual journey and start journeying. Stop talking about political perspectives or actions and start doing them. All of those things are important. Social media is a wonderful, great tool. We're here on social media, right? Social media is a great, great tool to be used with discernment and with awareness. I feel like, especially with my generation as a millennial, we get so wrapped up in using it all the time. There's no vacancy or space for silence, for boredom, for self-reflection. And if you're always sharing about your process, you're not really processing. If you're always trying to capitalize or monetize about even your gifts, then they're not really giving the space or time to breathe and develop. That's coming through. Okay, so what do we let go of? What do we release in the coming weeks, days and weeks after this? I'm being asked, what do we release? And they're drawing me to this dark circle of the ocean, which is reminding me of the shadow. The victimization, the trauma, the childhood shadow aspects, the things that have been brought up this Scorpio full moon, that's what needs to be let go of. All of the emotional traumas, issues, flare-ups, emotional flammability that has been triggered this Scorpio full moon, it's time now to purge it, to release it, to let it go. What will help us in this process? What will help us in this process of purging, releasing, and letting go? What will help in this process of purging, releasing, and letting go, please? What will help in this process of purging, releasing, and letting go? Okay, I'm being reminded to say that when I was getting the messages that have been coming through the last couple days and weeks for me about this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, there was something about the years 1982 and 2002 that were supposed to be mentioned earlier, but I forgot. So those might be relevant years for some of you guys. Those might be years you were born or things that relevance happened. That's not for everyone. That's just for some of you guys to help confirm that this reading is for you. So what will support us in this process is begin writing now. Create, express, inspire, and open to love, relationships, passion, fulfillment. So what will help us in this process of purging our childhood wounds, purging the shadow, purging all of the things that came up during the Scorpio full moon are, first, getting creative. And also, I want to say actually physically writing it down. This is such a powerful tool for releasing and purging. It's actually probably the most underrated tool when it comes to like inner work and healing and self-healing, is to write that shit down. If you're carrying a memory, an experience, a trauma, a victimization of something awful that happened to you, and if you don't have anyone to talk about it, or even if you do have someone to talk about it with, just writing it down and then burning that piece of paper is such a powerful ritualistic symbol that you can do, that is a signal to yourself on a conscious and subconscious level, and it's a signal to the multidimensional realms and to the universe that, hey, I'm letting this shit go. I'm burning it up. It's no longer a part of me. And I officially release it and transmute it. And fire is the element that is that transmutation phoenix energy. It is that death, rebirth, that ultimate clearing energy is fire. So writing about these traumas, writing about them is going to be the thing that helps you. The other thing that's going to help you is opening to love. So this might be for some of you guys that have just gotten out of relationships. Maybe this Scorpio full moon brought on like a breakup or a separation of some sort. Open yourself up to the possibility of new love and new relationships. Open yourself up to the possibility that you can have better, that there are other people out there. Even if the dating scene seems bleak, even if you're like been single for a long time and you've kind of given up hope, be open to the idea of someone new coming in. And I'm also getting the message about being open to like love from the higher realms, love from your angels, your ancestors, your spirit guides, love from the unexpected sources and places. Okay? Be open to it, because if we're not open to it, it's never going to show up. For the final message that's coming through, it's to focus on the light. And by the light, I don't mean like as in light and love, although that has a time and place. By the light, I mean focus on the things in your life that are in stark contrast to this orphan victim energy. Focus on the parts of your life that are in brilliant and stark contrast to those childhood traumas and experiences. Even if it's something just as simple as, like, you having your own apartment space, you having your own room that you don't have to share with anyone, or you having a job that you really enjoy, or you having people in your life that you really love, or you having food in your refrigerator that's delicious and nourishing, or you having lovely music that you really enjoy and that you can listen to and that makes you feel good, right? Whatever it is in your life that is good, that is the opposite of this victim experience and feeling that you had growing up, whatever in your life that's in stark contrast to that, focus on that. Bring that more into your awareness by being grateful for it, by acknowledging it, right? When we acknowledge, like, thank you so much, I have a great bed to sleep on. Thank you so much, I have clothes on my back. Thank you so much, I have food to eat today. Thank you so much, I get to choose what kind of food I want to eat today. I get to open my fridge and I have multiple choices. If you have that already, you are already far wealthier than a huge, huge, huge part of our planet, okay? And it's so important that we acknowledge that and that we make those simple pleasures bigger, because as big as they actually are, because in our society it's so easy to feel dissatisfied when we compare our lives to these like influencers and people online, when we compare our lives to like what the rich and famous whatever people out there are doing. It's about really being grateful for what we do have that is in contrast to this, that reminds us that, hey, we're not a victim anymore. We don't need to be in that frequency any longer. Can we get a final message, please? I'm feeling called to use another deck. Final parting message. Final message, please. Final message. Final message. What do they need to hear right now? What is this collective who's been drawn to this reading? What's the final message that they most need to hear right now that will help them the most, that will align them to their own heart space, to the Great Mother, and to the Creator? What message do they need to hear right now? What's the final parting message that they need to hear, please? What's the final parting message? Final message. What do they need to hear right now? Two of Cups reversed. Two of Pentacles reversed. Interesting that I said Two of Cups. Give me one or two more, please. Thank you. That's perfect. Five of Wands reversed and Judgment reversed. Wow. Don't hold on to the trauma identity is what I'm hearing. Don't hold on to the trauma identity. You know, I think so often nowadays we have all these different like terms and ways of identifying ourselves. Like if with the devil at the bottom of the deck, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, okay, thank you. This is a perfect message. Okay. So with our traumas and with the things that have hurt us, usually it has reverberations that last for a lifetime that can create different identities, such as like if we're neurodivergent, right? Trauma can support neurodivergency or like exacerbate it. Not necessarily that it can cause it, but can make it more pronounced or more difficult to deal with. If we have any other kinds of physical disabilities or ailments, we can strongly identify with those. If we have any kind of diagnosis like depression or anxiety, we can latch onto that and say, I am depressed or I am anxious, and that becomes our identity. This is a call to let go of those trauma identities that have been a huge part of the way in which we self-identify and self-see ourselves. And my candle is going nuts. So this is a big deal. Okay, this last full moon, all these shadow aspects, the parts of you that are causing you to hold on too tightly to these different identities, need to be released. Yeah, this is like a great karmic rebalancing. This is a great karmic like shakeup that we're going through right now. This is a powerful time where it's like, I'm getting the image of like a box of a bunch of toys, like, you know, like a box of like toddler toys being like up earth and spilled out onto the ground. Like, this is a time to like clear out the toys, like throw away the ones that are like not working, that the kid doesn't play with anymore, wash the ones that are fucking filthy, and, you know, do like a rearrangement and actual clearing of like, what does this child actually play with, and what is just taking up space and being a cluttered thing that is a relic of the past and of the old way in which they used to be and used to play, but is not relevant to them now or in the future moving forward. It's not age appropriate anymore for that toddler, right? There's something about this within our own psyche and our lives. It's this karmic shakeup and rebalancing that is asking us to be very mature, very discerning, and very aware that like, if we don't make the effort to do this clearing, we could be stuck in these patterns that by definition keep us out of alignment with that heart space, great mother below, great father above connection. If we're not willing to purify our energy and clear out the trauma in our heart, then we can't be in this alignment. Make sure that you're grounding your energy, that you're very connected to the planet, that you're doing those things, doing the daily things, doing the daily practices, like writing about your trauma and burning it, or processing your emotions through journaling, that you're, you know, actually expressing your emotions and getting them out of your system, that you're doing these very basic and important things like clearing your energy, using incense, getting outside, meditating, journaling, praying. It's important to do these practices, because without us creating the time and the space to do these things, there's not going to be any changes. The changes will never come. Ooh, okay. Is there anything else that needs to be said? Okay, sorry, the light I'm dealing with is kind of weird, but you see in this dark thing that was kind of coming through as the shadow, and the things that came up, the emotional trauma that came up in the full moon in Scorpio. You see how there's glimmers here? There's like lights here. That in the shadow, in these traumas, in these victimhood experiences that we had, in the traumas that we had in our childhood, there's also glimmers of gold. There's glimmers of hope there. There are powerful, what's the word? It's the pearl that's coming through again, right? So the pearl in the oyster is actually begun when the oyster is trying to take the impurities that have gotten into the shell, and they create this coating around it and to protect itself from the impurities that have gotten in. It's the same kind of thing with our shadow. It's the same kind of thing with these traumas. There are aspects of those experiences which are now the pearl, which is now the glimmer, which is now the part of you that is unique to you and that makes you uniquely and specially qualified to serve your purpose, to fulfill your mission, to provide something to the people in your life and to those around you in such a way that no one else can. And only you have had the unique experiences that you've had. Only you can bring your perspective. Only you have what you have based on these traumas and these victim experiences that you had. So don't look at it as a complete, we have a choice. We can look at the things that have happened to us and remain in that victim narrative, or we can look at the things that happened to us and harness them as to make us stronger. And I know it's a lot easier said than done, but it is possible. And that is the message is coming through for us today, that this is what the great mother, the great father, your higher self would like you to focus on in the days and weeks following this reading, is purging those childhood traumas and experiences that you had, and learning how to release that trauma identity, the part of you that has been imbalanced and stuck within that trauma or victim narrative, and do your spiritual practices, take care of yourself, be open to love, both in relationships and from the Creator. Write about your emotions, process your feelings, because this is going to free you and liberate you. I'm just going to look at the bottom of the deck on this one. Be thankful in reverse. Yes. Gratitude is such an important thing, and do not discount the power of gratitude for us to come into a place of joy and love, right? We have, most of us, if you have a phone right now in your hand and you're able to watch this, you probably have more than enough. You probably have more than enough to get you through the next couple days, the next couple weeks, even if it feels shaky and uncertain. And that is something to be grateful for. And the importance of that gratitude is going to be something that helps propel you moving forward, because we are moving into a time in 2024 and beyond where the resources on the planet are not going to be what they once were, and where our gratitude for what we do have is going to be very important. Okay, so this message has gone on long enough. I want to thank you so much for being here with me. I want to thank you for getting all the way to the end. If this reading has been resonant for you, I would love to hear about it in the comments. If you're interested in a personal reading, my information is down below. And yeah, I think that's it. Sending you lots of love.